Hello everyone, Andrew here. Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different than what you could normally expect from this channel. Rather than, focusing on retro games and consoles, it's going to be on something a little bit newer and something a little less official. It's actually a Super Mario World ROM hack, mod, fan game, whatever you prefer to call them, called Super Mario Omega, which was released exactly 10 years ago from today on August 26th, 2009. And the reason I remember all that so well is because I'm actually the one who created this over the course of 2.5 years, starting in February 2007 and then finally being able to release it in August of 2009. Super Mario Omega became a huge part of my life, both in terms of, when I was working on it, it was something that I had so much passion for. It was such a fun experience, and also the aftermath of it being released as well. It's all thanks to Super Mario Omega that I actually met some of my best friends, including Teal Game Master and Miles Luigi, who I met because they did Let's Plays of this game. In Teal Game Master's case, he did the Let's Play, which he messaged me about, so I watched that. And then it was a few years later, actually, when I started making YouTube videos that we kind of, got in contact again and started collaborating, and we really became good friends through that. And in Miles Luigi's case, he messaged me saying he was doing a Let's Play and actually offered to allow me to co-commentate in a couple of his videos. In the Super Mario Omega series, give some developer commentary, and then after that I also started appearing in some of his other videos, he started appearing in some of mine, and we became really good friends as a result of that. So Super Mario Omega has really become kind of a staple of my life today, just as a result of it, allowing me to meet those really incredible people, and also, giving me other opportunities as well, which I wouldn't have otherwise. So I still look back so fondly at August 26th, 2009, and I had to make a video, today being that 10-year anniversary. So I thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about how Super Mario Omega came about, some of my experiences even prior to that, and then, some of the experiences I've had since that, of course, including, the fact that I met Teal Game Master and Miles Luigi as a result. But the fact is that I believe they found Super Mario Omega, or at least Teal Game Master anyway, because a really awesome YouTuber named raocow played it. And the reason that he played it is he was a huge Super Mario World ROM hack Let's Player back in the day. He still plays some today, but especially back then he was playing a lot more, because of course back in 2009 there were a lot more back then, and Super Mario Omega was released to extremely, good reviews. A lot of people really liked it, and I think one of the reasons that Mario Omega really caught a lot of people's eyes is because about, I think it was July, so about a month before it came out, I actually released a trailer for it, which is kind of odd, you think, an unofficial kind of, fan-made thing, maybe, a ROM hack, maybe if it was, a full-on fan game made up from the ground up, but in the terms of, ROM hack or mod, I guess you don't normally think of them having trailers and such, but that caught a lot of people's attention, actually, getting over 10,000 views, like way back in the earlier days of YouTube, I guess, in only a matter of days. And one of the things I think really caught a lot of people's attention in that trailer was at the end, I included a whole bunch of clips from levels in the special world known as Dimension X within Super Mario Omega, where the levels are actually themed around different retro games. Like there's a Mario Land, the black and white Game Boy game themed level. There's a Zelda 2 themed level. Of course, it was perfect because it was side-scrolling. A Sonic level, Mega Man 2, Super Metroid, very infamous. A lot of people really hate that level because I spent 2 months working on it. I spent an entire summer vacation, my grade 11 summer vacation in 2008. I spent the entirety of it working on that level, and then everyone hated it, so it's like 2 months down the drain. I had such a fun time. There's a Tetris level, Atlantis no Nazo, which is kind of like, more of an in-joke, but perfect for, of course, a kind of tricky level. I think that caught a lot of people's attention, and so when raocow played it, because he was one of the biggest Mario World Let's Players of the time, a lot of other people noticed it as well. And when I was creating Super Mario Omega, my dream was always that, even just one person would Let's Play it. I would love to see their reactions, and I would just love to see someone have fun with this thing I spent 2.5 years of my life working on. So when raocow Let's Played it, it allowed others to, see the game, and it really allowed me to, get that experience I was hoping for. It really, really, really meant so much to me. So I don't know if raocow, if you'll ever somehow, someday, come across this video, but if you do, please just know that I appreciate so much the fact that you were the first one to Let's Play Super Mario Omega, and if not for that, who knows how different my life would be right now. So thank you for, the fun times that your Let's Play brought, and I still go back and, check it out sometimes these days, and, I just really appreciate that. I still, of course, keep up with raocow today. I will link down in the description to raocow's Let's Play, Teal Game Master's Let's Play, and Miles Luigi's Let's Play. But raocow actually is still going, and he's even done some really cool projects these days, like all the Mega Man, where he played through every single side-scrolling Mega Man game, which was really cool. And now he's doing all the Sonics, where he's Let's Playing, you know, all the main series Sonic games, and then, you know, even some of the spin-off ones too, which is actually really neat. So definitely check those out, and of course Teal Game Master and Miles Luigi, who I've collaborated with many times, they're still definitely worth a check out as well, and their links will be in the description below. And also, if you like this thing right here, this is actually a box set that you can buy from a company called Flashback Entertainment, and I played a role in actually designing the box and such. And if you look, I don't know if it will show up on camera, you can actually see that in the circuit board there are symbols that represent the different retro levels that you encounter in the special world, and I really like the way that the box turned out. I will put the link down in the description below if you're interested in buying that. I will also put a link in the description below to the original trailer, which I think, you know, got people really interested in Super Mario Omega. But as you can see, you know, it's just something that I really hold close to my heart. And again, thank you so much, raocow, for really spreading the word, and thank you so much, Teal Game Master and Miles Luigi, for, you know, becoming such great friends as a result of the fact that you did Let's Plays of Super Mario Omega. But my interest in designing Super Mario levels definitely did not start in 2007, the day I got my hands, or not necessarily got my hands, the day I started working on Super Mario Omega. There was actually some projects I had worked on before that, which kind of dwindled off. I originally started with Mario 1 level editors, then worked my way up to Mario 3, did a little bit of Mario 2, and then once I got my hand on Lunar Magic for Mario World, it really took off from there. And the reason that, you know, the Mario World ROM hacking community is still continuing on today is just because it's such a versatile game, thanks to the incredible tools like Lunar Magic, which just allow you to really do, you know, anything that your imagination is set on to the game, where like Lunar Magic, you know, you can add in extra custom graphics, there's ways to add in custom sprites and blocks and all that, so you can really make the game your own, and that's why, you know, that's the what's it called? The game I eventually decided to, you know, make a full-fledged game on was Super Nintendo Super Mario World. So this folder right here, though, dates back way before all that, because those were my high school days when I would work on Mario Omega, but this was something I did back in elementary school. I think that's like Tony Hawk on the front of this folder. I don't know, it was just the folder I had back in those days. So it's the folder that turned into my Super Mario Brothers kind of custom game paper edition folder. And this is all pages that I drew for a Super Mario Brothers game that, you know, I would just design back in the day, because if Super Mario Maker existed back when I was a kid, it just would have blown my mind, and it probably would have been the only thing that I did, you know, back then. I probably would have had, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into it, but there wasn't. I had to draw all of my ideas on paper, and I'll do some close-ups so that you can really see, you know, in more depth just what I used to draw back in the day, but my dream was always to be able to create my own Super Mario Brothers game. So to finally get a computer and to finally be able to do that, it was just, you know, one of the most fun and exciting experiences I have ever had. And the fact that so many people enjoyed it after it came out too just really made it all that much more exciting. And I think if you still go out and look, you'll find that there's like somewhere between like 25, 30-ish, you know, Let's Plays of Super Mario Omega. So while I would definitely not, you know, still consider it the best Let's Play of Super Mario World out there these days, of course, over these 10 years, you know, so much more has, you know, kind of advanced. There's so much more you can do with the game now. The fact that people still enjoy it, and the fact that it was so well received back then, again, just means so much to me. So yeah, I have just always had this passion for creating my own Mario game. So now, to be able to actually hold, you know, a physical copy of a game that I created in my hands is just bizarre, and it's just so cool. And just to think that 10 years have passed now since I released it, that is also mind-blowing. But like I said, you know, I spent just 2 months alone, my entire summer vacation, you know, in between working and such, creating that Super Metroid level. And I don't know, I want it to be big and mazy like Super Metroid, but in the end, a lot of people just hated it, because I guess that concept doesn't translate over to Mario World so well when you only have, like, you know, a certain number of checkpoints, and, you know, it's harder to really create a more exploration-based thing in that Mario World environment. But with more of the tools that exist out there today, I could probably do some things to improve it. I would love to release maybe an updated version of Super Mario Omega at some point, like a version 2.0, not necessarily like a sequel, which was in the works for a long time, although it hasn't been worked on too much these days, just because, you know, so many other things in my life have gotten ahead of it. But I just look back and, you know, high school, this is what, you know, I remember about those years. And it's funny because, you know, I don't have any regrets about that fact either. I would come home from high school, and priority number one would usually be working on Super Mario Omega. And, you know, I don't look back at high school and remember the book reports I wrote or the title pages I colored or whatever, but I have such fond memories of making Omega, and, you know, it's still something that led to my life being the way that it is today, more than I think, like, you know, so many of the other things that high school, you know, consumes your time with would have. I hate busy work. If there's one thing I hate, it's busy work, and all through elementary and high school, that's just what I felt so much of it all was. So to actually, you know, put my time towards something that mattered, that meant so much to me as well. But just from the beginning until, it's funny because towards the end, I definitely wanted to release it. I didn't just want to, you know, sit on it forever, but I noticed that, you know, time was running out. I wanted to get it out before I started grade 12, which is why August 26th was, you know, right before in Canada we go back to school. And I was actually attending a, you know, kind of, you know, video game, anime, you know, sci-fi, what do they call them? Pop culture conventions. It's like a Comic-Con, but it's not a Comic-Con, called Fan Expo. And I wanted to release it before that as well. So I think the Fan Expo started on like the Thursday, and I released it on the Wednesday, which was a terrible idea. And not to mention the fact that in order to get it released on that Wednesday, I pulled an all-nighter, which is just the absolute worst thing you can do if you're trying to test and fix bugs. I left doors in places there weren't supposed to be doors. I accidentally forgot to include a door where there was supposed to be a door. But it still happened. You know, I still released it and people still enjoyed it. Thankfully, I was able to fix those things up and constantly, you know, keep releasing things. But because I was at Fan Expo, my email inbox is like, you know, filling up with people, you know, commenting on the game and asking questions and such. And you know, I didn't have, you know, there was no really smartphones back then. Well, there were smartphones, but I didn't own a smartphone back then. So I had to wait, you know, until I got home, and I would stay up all night answering all these emails and then go back to the convention the next day. It's just kind of like, you know, a really mind-blowing experience, and I have just such fun memories looking back on all of that. And, you know, definitely give yourself more than just one night to fix all the bugs, where I had been fixing all the bugs prior to that as well. We actually went on a family vacation that summer, and I put the game on my PSP. Oh, I should have found that. I actually have a notebook that I wrote down all the different bugs while I was playing it on my PSP on this family vacation that when I then got home, I fixed. But there were just so many bugs. Like, there are just so many things that can go wrong, you know, and different things that you don't necessarily notice as you're creating it, but when you play through the entire game as a whole, you do come across. And I had some beta testers, but they didn't do a very good job. I don't think any of them actually made it all the way to the end of the game, which again is a, you know, reason why some of these problems popped up. Beta testing is kind of, you know, it's tough to find people who will do the whole thing for you. Probably not these days, because after, you know, you've released a project, your name's out there, people know you. I could probably find people these days for sure. You know, obviously like Miles, Luigi, and Teal Game Master, if they wanted to, I'm sure would. Teal Game Master actually already played a little bit of Super Mario Omega 2, which is probably kind of stuck in development hell. So he can tell you all about that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that project some days. There's part of me deep down that's like, maybe I should just release what was done already, but then it's like, ugh. You know, it hurts to do that as well, but it's just sitting on my computer, not really doing too much. But yeah, so it's just, I look back at Super Mario Omega as this incredible experience that I just had so much fun with. It resulted in me meeting so many incredible people, you know, having so many, you know, incredible experiences, so much fun times, that to think that 10 years has passed since then is just crazy. So thank you to everyone who has made, you know, Super Mario Omega such an important part of my life, because of course, you know, it could have very easily stopped after the fun that I had making it. But the fact that people like raocow, Teal Game Master, Miles Luigi, and everyone else who has ever played it or downloaded it, because even on Super Mario World Central, I think there was like a wipe of all the downloads in the hack section at one time, so it's not even actually completely accurate, but it's had tens of thousands of downloads. So, you know, people have very clearly enjoyed it. So before we wrap up, there's actually two more things that I want to mention, and one is that I think that even though Super Mario Maker 1 and 2 are such great tools for people who want to make their own Mario games these days, I think it's really a shame that there's no you know, way to make a full-fledged game within them, or at the very least, you know, create a world of levels. And I think that's why the fan options such as Mario X and Lunar Magic are so important still because they allow you to make those full-fledged projects that you can then, send to others and can be enjoyed as a package, where Mario Maker is really just about, creating individual levels. And while that can be really good, it is kind of a shame that you can't create, at least a world of levels for someone to work through with, a difficulty curve and introducing new mechanics throughout. Instead, it's usually just kind of, the more gimmicky levels that get played rather than the ones which play more like traditional Mario levels, which is a shame. So, in Mario Maker 3, or maybe in an update at some point, and a way to actually create, a more established work would be very much appreciated. The second thing I want to mention is that it's been on the kind of, idea block for a while of maybe doing a group Let's Play together with Miles, Luigi, and Teal Game Master. I guess that maybe I'd be the one playing, showing off all the maybe little tricks of Super Mario Omega that people aren't too familiar with. Well, they commentate their experiences with the game as well, and yeah, just do a whole Let's Play of Super Mario Omega, the three of us together. If people, would be interested in that, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and we'll probably get that done. It's all about, finding the time for everyone to do that, but considering, Mario Omega definitely kind of connects all of us in that way, it would be cool to do a Let's Play with all three of us together, playing through that game that came out all those years ago. Which I think I've rambled on about enough at this point. So if you watched till the end, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed. Thanks for joining me on this special occasion. I hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you later.